Hello. It has been a very long time since I sat down and we just chatted. So there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do just a really quick update on what's going on, a really quick life update. I wanted to talk about mainly this channel and kind of the format of this channel and just the nature and personality of my YouTube channel, and for us just to chat about that for a little bit. And while we do that, I'm gonna put makeup on. I don't even know the last time I did a chatty video like this, but I thought it was long overdue because there's just so much that I want to talk about with you and about this channel and about my life. Because big update, newsflash, I've talked about it on Instagram and Facebook if you follow me over at Marlo Plain and Small on Instagram or Facebook. But if you only know me here on YouTube, then you don't know I'm pregnant. I don't know if you can tell how pregnant I am. So I have less than 2 months to my due date, and it's hard to breathe because the baby's like pushing up and my lungs have smaller area. So if I'm taking a lot of deep breaths, it's because I can't breathe. So yes, I am pregnant and due in less than 2 months, and we started working on the nursery this week. And the reason that we just started, which I think 2 months is plenty of time. That's about when we started with our first baby doing the nursery is because the room that's going to be the nursery was our daughter's room, and our daughter will be 6 in October. And so we remodeled a space in our house to become her new room, and we're almost completely finished with that. We have a few like decorating things to finish, and then we got started on the nursery. And for the makeup stuff, since I've got so much other stuff to talk about with you, I may not talk about the makeup, but I'll put it down in the description box. So yes, we're having another baby, our second baby, and it's another girl. So it's pretty exciting. And our other daughter starts kindergarten this year, and COVID has just like really changed what that looks like and what we ever imagined it would look like for our child to start school, or to be in school, period. And so we'll kind of see how things go and kind of playing by ear what school looks like for her this year. During a pandemic, let's see, what all have we celebrated? My husband and I in June celebrated our 11th wedding anniversary. My 35th birthday was in July. I have a daughter who's starting kindergarten during a pandemic, and I have been pregnant, and I'm going to have a baby during a pandemic. So 2020 has been a lot of milestones, and it has been such an odd time to celebrate those because we haven't left the house a whole lot, or when we have, it's just been, we've enjoyed a lot of time outside. But we haven't celebrated those things in the same way. Like, we're gonna have a drive-by baby shower, but we won't be having a traditional baby shower. And when we go to the hospital, it's just me and my husband, nobody else can come. And then when we come home, we have to play it by ear. It's just a very odd time to be pregnant and to be having a baby. It's a very different experience than when I had a baby 6 years ago. But it's okay. We are taking things in stride, playing things by ear, and just rolling with it. It's not gonna make it any less special having a baby. It's just different, but different is okay. And besides that, not a whole lot is different in our life. What I really wanted to chat about was this YouTube channel, because it's evolved a lot over the years. I first started this particular channel right after I had my first daughter, and I had another channel that was more professional. I was a filmmaker for 6 years, and I would put like the videos I did for work, I would put them on a YouTube channel, kind of just like as a portfolio. And then I would put some personal ones on there, or some freelance jobs that I did, I would put on there. But it wasn't like, whenever I wanted to start doing things just for fun, it didn't feel like the appropriate channel to put that stuff on. And so I started this one, and when I started it, my daughter was just a few months old, and I was very busy as a stay-at-home mom to an infant, but I also needed a creative outlet. And so I started this channel really just as like a get ready with me makeup channel. And at the time, the makeup channels that I really liked to watch at that time, 6 years ago, all the way back to 10 years ago, weren't so much like chatty videos, and they weren't quite the same format that most makeup videos are now, like really in-depth tutorials or just chatting like this. It would be someone would sit down and get ready, but it would be maybe sped up, and there would be music in the background, and it to me was relaxing to watch. And that was the kind of content that I wanted to make. And so that's what I did for a while. I did some like that. I did some with voiceovers. I started doing some that were a bit more chatty. But of course, I'm not a makeup artist, but I have always loved makeup. And the point of me doing makeup videos wasn't really for you to learn new techniques, because I don't think I'm that person. But it was really just more of me saying, hey, this is how I get ready quickly. These are the products that I like to use that work for me, work for my skin. It was just like a way to say, hey, this is how I get ready, and maybe you could find a similar way, or maybe it's just a relaxing video to watch like those videos were for me. So that's what it started as. And then it just got harder to do, because as my baby turned into a toddler, sorry, I can't breathe. I had to like chase her more, and it just, life got busier. And so it got hard to kind of keep up with those. And honestly, I started losing confidence in that, because I knew I wasn't a professional, and I knew you weren't necessarily learning things from me. And so I just kind of stopped, even though maybe I didn't necessarily want to. And that's why those videos stopped for a little while. But at the same time, my channel transitioned a bit, and it wasn't intentional, but we decided to get out of debt. And so I had some videos on saving money and making money and kind of our debt journey. And then around the time that my daughter turned 1, I sold my pretty new car. It was maybe about 2 years old. I sold it so that we could get out of a car payment, and get out of like that monthly insurance payment and the higher property taxes that you pay on a newer car. And so that was part of our debt journey. And so in order for me to have a car, I went several months without a car while we were remodeling a 1971 Volkswagen Beetle convertible. We were a one-car family, saved up and paid off a lot of things over those months. And then I did videos about us remodeling the Beetle, and it really was because I couldn't find the content I wanted on YouTube to get help. I couldn't find the content I wanted that was helpful enough. I found some about remodeling, but we just couldn't find what we needed. And so we thought that we would create that content. I thought, well, I can do a video of us putting a brand new convertible top on a vintage car. And that's one of my top videos. And that is so different from a makeup video. And the people that comment and watch that convertible video, I've probably never clicked on my makeup videos, or maybe even money saving videos. But that's how we transitioned to that content. And I also, in high school, my dad remodeled a 1977 Triumph Spitfire for me to drive as my first car. And since people were interested in my Beetle, I thought, well, maybe they would be interested in my Triumph, which I still had, but was not a daily driver because it's a 2-seater convertible and a car seat would not fit in it. And so I just shared some of those videos. So it wasn't that I all of a sudden was like, oh, I'm going to become a car channel. It was just, that was part of my life. And I've had a blog for about 14 or 15 years. And I used to blog almost every single day when blogging was very, very popular. And my YouTube channel was kind of to mimic that, to talk about different things that I was interested in, cooking, crafting. So that's why there's some of those videos on here. It was really more of a reflection of my blog. And then as we got out of debt, we began taking trips, mainly just around to the state parks in Arkansas. And we started making videos about that to share with people. And then we would take a few trips to different states. And that's how the travel videos came about. So really this was more of a lifestyle and just sharing my interest with you type of channel. Now as a blog, that's usually okay. As a YouTube channel, YouTube does not love that. The algorithm does not love it. And subscribers don't always love it. And I understand if you subscribe to a channel, you are subscribing so that you can catch every video they upload. Well, if you're here to watch videos about a Volkswagen, you probably may not be interested in makeup. Or if you're here for makeup, then you may not be interested in old cars. And you may be, because I am. I mean, this is what that channel is, but that niche of people could be very small. And so I understand that this channel may not ever have a lot of subscribers, because I am not just a cooking channel or a makeup channel or a vintage car channel. And so my views may not be very large and my subscribers may not be large. And that's okay, because I want to share what I enjoy. I don't want to make things just to make things. I do want to make things that you want to watch. But also this is just really the life that I live. And so I'm sharing my life with you. So that's why there's so many different videos, and that's kind of what I wanted to just chat about for a little bit, so that you would know maybe why the channel had so many different types of videos. It's because that's what I'm interested in. That is my, like, honest to goodness life. Talking about making coffee in the Keurig and how to make it taste better. Sharing with you quick recipes. Showing you like how I get ready. And then showing you my cars that I enjoy. So I know it's all over the place, and I know that this channel may not be for everybody. But if you are here and you're a subscriber, I'm so glad you're here. I love when you comment and we're able to talk about things. And I just really appreciate you being here watching the videos, because it does take time to create the videos. Oh, the light got a little bit better. I don't have studio lights. That's not something that I have spent my money on yet, and probably won't for a little bit, since we are now going to be buying diapers again. So I try to use natural light as much as possible. So I would love to hear from you. What videos do you like to watch? If you're a subscriber, do you only watch the videos that interest you? Do you watch all of them? I would like to hear your feedback. I don't know that it necessarily will drastically change the type of content that I make, but it is helpful to kind of have an idea of the type of people that are watching and what you like to watch. So I'd really like to hear from those of you who subscribe, to know what kind of content that you would like to see more of. Before COVID hit, we had some videos planned. We were gonna go to Memphis for a couple of days, because we live just a couple of hours from Memphis, and just take a little family trip, the three of us. And then that was gonna be in mid-March. Well, of course, Corona hit early March, and I think March 13th, Friday the 13th was the last day that people were in school here, and it was kind of the weekend that everything shut down. So we had to cancel our trip, but it did work out for the best because I was in my first trimester and I was incredibly sick, and I don't think that I would have been able to enjoy the trip very much because I couldn't eat, couldn't keep anything down. I was incredibly tired. So the trip would not have been as fun as we had wanted it to be. We were going to do the zoo and a couple of other things. So that's a trip that we can do another time. Since we live so close, once the baby's here and the baby's a little older and it's safe enough to venture out, that's a trip that we can do. So that was a video that did not happen. And then we had a conference that we were going to go to in Texas, in Waxahachie, and that got canceled. That was going to be in April. So that didn't happen. So that was the video that didn't take place. And then we had another trip planned that, of course, didn't happen. So for a while, my channel was pretty silent, no uploads, because we weren't going anywhere. The videos that we had planned were not happening. And I was sick all of first trimester and into second trimester, which I also was for my first pregnancy. And I didn't have the energy and really the mental capacity to do anything besides take care of my daughter, who is now home. She went to preschool 2 days a week, and now she was home because preschool was canceled. And just life was so different that it wasn't bad. Even though it was not how we would have planned it, I wasn't feeling a lot of anxiety. It just meant our life changed and I didn't have free time. I didn't have time to myself. Like right now, my husband took my daughter on a little lunch date. And so that's how I have time to do this right now. And so videos, just like content in general, was just not happening. I also wasn't really uploading to social media. I wasn't uploading to my blog because I wasn't even crafting really. I just didn't have the motivation. And I didn't have, the ideas weren't coming because I was just so tired and just pregnant. And I don't really know how to describe it, but if you've been like really sick in pregnancy, then you know just like getting through a day is work. Cooking your meals and getting up and taking care of another child. And I wasn't sewing. I wasn't doing anything with the Cricut. I wasn't doing anything. The crafting has just started back in the last couple of months as I've been really motivated to make things for the baby. And to make things for my daughter's room, and just that's kind of gotten me excited again. But now that I'm into my third trimester, I'm starting to get tired again and taking breaks, and trying to also take breaths. How has it been for you with Corona? Has it changed your job? Has it changed things for your family? How are you feeling? Are you feeling, I know like some people came through this and they were feeling like incredibly creative. And I just remember feeling not guilt, but there were a lot of graphics and memes going around on social media at the beginning of quarantine and everything saying, you know, if you have no excuse not to write a book or not to pursue your dreams or to learn something new. And it was all of this like, use this time wisely. And I was just in bed or throwing up or, you know, trying to like get through, and I was growing a human. And I just remember thinking like, I just need to get through the day. I just need to figure out what I'm going to cook for dinner. Of course, my husband's here helping, but he had a little bit of a different work schedule whenever everything kind of shut down. But I was not that person that was like creating things during that. So were you like me and you were just like, I'm just trying to get through the day? Or were you like really inspired and using that time to create new things? I think it's really interesting, like what's come out of this, like TV shows and movies that people have created, and how they've used the time. And maybe if I wasn't pregnant, I would have like really felt that desire and would have been really motivated, but I was not motivated at all. I don't have a lip liner that says color, but I just want to help outline a little bit since it's such a bright color, and it helps with kind of the feathering look that it can have. The lip liner will help with that. I don't know if you can tell because it looks red in the viewfinder, but this is a bright pink. So I'm gonna take a Q-tip, blend it in so it looks a little bit more like a stain. We've got this really bright lip. I'm gonna do a nude blush. Let's do this kind of mauve nude blush just to get a little bit of color on the cheek, but then to sort of tie everything together, let's pick up a little bit of the lipstick and tie just a hint of it into the blush. Tell me what YouTube channels you have been enjoying recently so I can check them out. So now, let's put a little bit of concealer there, and then I've got a little spot there. I've been finding that instead of going in first with concealer under foundation or putting it right over foundation, that I like kind of doing it as a last step because it just kind of brightens this area, especially if I brought the blush or bronzer up too high. It really kind of helps with that. So what else? I'm trying to think of anything else is new in life. I haven't done a health update in a while. That's because the condition that I have, idiopathic cyclic edema. Basically, I don't have it when I'm pregnant. I just have it to like an extremely lesser degree that you wouldn't even know that you necessarily have the condition. You might think, oh, I'm swelling just a little bit, but it's like not at all what I have usually. So if I look a little bit thinner, because people have said to me like, you're thinner when you're pregnant, it's because I don't have the edema. I don't have the swelling. My capillaries aren't leaking all into my body. If you take away the pregnant stomach and just look at the rest of me, this is what I feel like is me, because it's what I looked like and felt like before my edema started. And so it's very odd to feel more like yourself when you're pregnant. And we'll see how it comes back after my pregnancy. It did come back with after my first child. So my doctor is kind of waiting to see what that's going to look like if my edema comes back, which it probably will. So when it does, we're going to just try to see if there's some different things that we can try to keep it where it doesn't get as bad, because it is very painful. And it really limits me physically, and it's just not fun. My husband thinks it's funny when I do this, but it has to be done. Gotta fan it in. I have not really worn makeup since March. I've only put on a full face of makeup a handful of times, but that means that my makeup is just sitting. And so there's certain things that I know, like mascara expires even if you haven't been using it. Once you open it and use it, then you've got just a few months before it goes bad. So I'm trying to use up things before they expire. I'm not going to put anything on the lower lashes. I'm not going to put any eyeshadow or any mascara because I have got to go a couple places today, which means I will be wearing a mask. And I have found that sometimes the mask, like me breathing in and out of inside this mask, creates steam, and it can make my mascara melt, especially if it's on the bottom. And I do have a waterproof mascara that I sometimes will put as like a second layer on top of regular mascara. But I hate waterproof mascara, especially when it's on its own. So we're just gonna go with nothing on the bottom. That is the look. It actually would be really quick if I wasn't talking or having to take breaths and take a break to breathe every so often. I thank you for being here, for subscribing, for commenting on videos and chatting with me. And I hopefully will see you soon. I have a couple of ideas of videos that I want to do depending on if I have time, because I do have a daughter, and depending on how her school goes, whether or not I have any free time to myself during the day to do those videos, because I need the natural light, or if I just get too tired to do the videos, let's be honest, and depending on how things go with the baby. So I have ideas, I have things that I want to do, so I hope to see you soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.